Maniacs? Welcome to another edition of Split Decision MMA. We are obviously down one host, Brandon Dodge, not back from Vegas. Well, he is, but he has a horrible case of mouth herpes from all the shoeies he did with everybody in Las Vegas. So I brought in Nick. Well, Nick was coming in anyway to talk about this massive fight we have going down in Modesto this weekend, the 209 Beatdown. We'll get more to that at the end or towards the end of the show. How you doing, Nick?
Doing good, man. Been doing some interviews.
So you got some killer interviews. If you want to go check out his interviews, you can find him at MMA Pixels on YouTube, Facebook. Are you anywhere else?
Yeah.
No? Nowhere? All right. We had 238 happen last weekend. We watched it down in Vegas. That was quite the thing. Again, we'll be talking about that a little bit later, but let's get straight into the news. Coker's talking about more cross-promoting. He says right now he wants more promotion in Japan. He's obviously doing cross-promotion right now with ONE FC. He says eventually he'd like to do a Bellator versus Risen card. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, what can defeat the UFC, right? Not one organization's been able to topple it, but if you take more than one pencil and you put them together, they become strong. No, I think it's a great idea. I mean, you actually do see who the world champion is. You get the Randy Couture versus Fedor fight. You get, things like that. It's been done in boxing, although boxing's kind of gotten a little corrupt on that.
I think boxing's starting to I don't know. Like I've said with Dodge last week or 2 weeks ago, I think boxing's becoming a little more legitimate. It's because I feel that the fighters are taking it more upon themselves. You don't have a lot of managers involved, But yeah, I think in Japan, it's a lot bigger than we think. We're just not there, so we don't see how big it is. And I think Scott's cashing in on that.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things too is they have like things set in their contract to where if he wins, it's got to be defended, one time this year, in the United States. So things like that, I think, benefit.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm hoping for, is that this cross promotion does go to Risen, and then eventually they get the UFC to get involved. I don't think the UFC will actually be involved with Coker first. I see the UFC doing something with ONE FC first. I mean, we already have player trades or fighter trades, however you want to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to wrestling days. You had when WCW was kicking WWF's butt. They reached out to ECW and they worked together to try to combat that NWO angle. So I mean, you never know.
Oh, so I like how you're saying it. So you're saying collectively these people team up to be bigger than the UFC.
Yeah, right. I mean, you can't be a world champion if you only fight in America.
Right. But I mean, we're not. I mean, like we're gonna announce we got a fight going on in Abu Dhabi again. I don't know. They tried to reach out into China. Well, I don't know what happened with that whole deal. I mean, I do, but can't really speculate much on that. I have to bring out the tinfoil hat. And then, so give that.
I mean, overall, I think it's a benefit.
Oh, all right. Another bit of news announced this week. The UFC is launching the official MMA Combine out of the UFC Academy, where they'll be they're going to take over almost like the NFL style of combine, where the fighters are going to be able to fight in different categories of scoring, so that maybe eventually they can also work towards getting scholarships to the UFC Academy. What do you think of
that? You can't judge an engine by the paint job. I mean, if you do a combine, like legit, like NFL, how many push-ups, or bench press, how high you could jump, that's not going to help you in fighting. I mean, it's going to help you in fighting, but it's not going to tell you how good of a fighter you are.
But I mean, what if it's like their stages are more like just straight grappling? That's what you do. You just do straight grappling, and then you're scored on your grappling.
So you hit like a Ford Focus, so you're ready stuff like that. Kind of like Ivan Drago and Rocky.
I can see right now that you're a little mad about the whole MMA math thing. We all know that MMA math doesn't work, and
no, I mean, it's cool.
I mean, you don't just think that this is a small. I mean, the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series to me is almost, I wouldn't say a combine like, but I mean, they go around, they look for people, they invite them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's definitely a test. A lot of these local fighters, wherever they are, they haven't like traveled across the country to fight, and so those things are different, and it does get them ready for it. But I don't know. I guess if they put it like on YouTube,
just
the combine, I would watch it, I guess, just to see what it is.
I mean, I'd cover it. I'd follow it. I would report it to people about what was going on. But you just don't have. You're not going to put a lot of stock into just somebody being scored into fighting. Because I mean, okay, so we do get these guys. They end up in the UFC development. The first time they fight, don't you feel we're going to see whether it was worth it or not?
They're going to list their vertical on the tail of the tape. I mean, I don't know what they're going to. His 440 is this, like, or his 40-yard dash is 440. That's what my time is.
I think, I don't know. I see what you're saying, that you can't take somebody's physical ability and this just translate into that's how they're going to fight. I get that, but I'm pretty sure, or I would guess that the stages or whatever they're going to use to score is going to be more fighting based. I mean, you can't have hundreds of people fight each other and then score them off that.
I think the biggest test is that the Ultimate Fighter, right? The little mini tournament.
But I mean, if there was a way to dwindle people down before that, you don't think there's any way to boil them down before that?
Why are we taking away the fights from the fights?
I'm not doing it, Nick. I'm just saying.
I don't know. Like I said, it's cool. Anything extra in MMA is cool, but
yeah, and that's where I'm at. I mean, I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to get the full use out of the UFC Academy, the UFC Performance Institute, and I think, somewhat sifting through people before they actually get in there and fight. Because there's going to be these guys that are off the chart. They're going to score. And this happens in the NFL. This happens in other sports. It happens in baseball. These guys are completely off the chart. You have these high expectations of what they're going to do. You put them in to do it, and they're dead. And that's going to happen in this. You just want it to happen sooner. No, you want someone to be beat up and knocked out quick.
I like to see fights.
All right. Josh LaCour said we really need to step up our Risen game. We actually are going to.
We already covered it. Where were you at?
Where were you at? Yeah, we did. We had a little bit of Risen. We're talking about the cross promotion.
The whole thing.
Man, don't be mad. No, Josh LaCour's a big fan. He's always watching. We don't know what country he's in currently because he's a globetrotter. That's what he does.
They're from Harlem, right?
He could be. I don't know. Combate is coming back to Fresno, August 2nd.
I like this promotion.
Oh, I love the promotion. Last time they were in Fresno,
they got a lot of local people.
Oh yeah,
I know, people I've talked to. It's kind of cool. It's exciting.
Quite a few people are now on the radar because of them coming into Fresno, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's cool. Like I said, it's a next step for these guys. I follow them on the amateur scene, and then they get, signed to a local pro promotion around here, get 1 or 2 fights, and now they're fighting for combates. GKO too just opened up, so that's another big one.
Yeah. Any big names in there?
No, I don't know.
Nothing that you.
Well, I mean, I know who fought for them before they shut down, but not since they're back. I haven't really.
Yeah. When are they going to start back up? Have they announced?
They have, but I don't know what it is.
He's like, he doesn't know.
They don't pay me. I don't know.
Oh, Dana White talked to some people this week, and he said that he is fully assured that McNugget will be fighting by the end of this year. Do you even care?
Is it 165?
I don't know. Nobody knows anything. I don't know. I don't even know why his name keeps coming around. I'm so glad that when ESPN put out their pound for pound list, he's nowhere near it.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
Not a lot of people are. I think it's funny too because Khabib was also asked if Conor's going to get his rematch, and he was just like, "Why?" He's been gone for 3 years. He hasn't done anything. His last fight, he begged for his life. I think that's funny. And you haven't heard Conor come out and say, I did not beg for my life. So, I mean, maybe he did while he was being choked out. Please don't kill me.
I don't know.
You don't know about that? We know he did.
I do know, but I don't know, if he actually said that.
Oh, we do know he said it's just business. Which maybe in Khabib land, that means please don't kill me.
But, I mean, it is kind of strange we haven't heard about it until now. It's been a while.
No? Talking about Khabib, it's official. UFC 242 in Abu Dhabi. Khabib Poirier. Let's see, who else was on there? So they only got 4 fights listed so far. We got Marbek Tuasimov against Carlos Diego Ferreira. We got Curtis Blades fighting Shamil Abdullah and Aslam Makachev against David Ramos, and then Khabib against Dustin Poirier. Who you got in that right now?
And Khabib Poirier?
Poirier.
Khabib.
You got him?
Yeah. I wonder if there's any fighters who can't fight in Abu Dhabi, who have like a tattoo or something, like a big old cross.
Oh, they won't let him fight?
I know in Saudi they won't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, maybe you have to wear a big rash guard.
Yeah. Is there any women's fighters on there?
Like I said, they've only got 4 fights listed so far. I mean, that card's so far out. I mean, even those 4 fights could change. Yeah. Well, everything but the main 2. But even in UFC land, we all know that could change in an instant.
It's indoors though, right? They learned that lesson.
Yeah. So a parent company, Endeavour, the parent company of the UFC, is reportedly thinking
bankrupt.
No, they're not bankrupt. They're reportedly might be buying Premier Boxing Championship or Champions, so also known as PBC. For me, this is something that I've said that Zuffa was going to get into, and we always seen Dana wearing the shirt, the Zuffa Boxing. Now that Zuffa isn't part of it, and Endeavour is going to be might be making the purchase. Is this something like we're going to see it come into the UFC's court? Like maybe you know how like Coker does the kickboxing, and the MMA. You think we'll see boxing and MMA on the same card?
Ooh, on the same card, no. But
no, you don't.
I think they would have a hand in promotions, but I don't think like Dana White's going to be running it.
Oh no.
They'll have somebody else doing it because you're not going to take something away from this investment for this.
You think they'll bring over De La Hoya?
Maybe, yeah.
De La Hoya.
I mean, zeros.
Oh. So early in this week, Twitter went crazy over an MMA call out by a person we'd have never thought was going to call somebody out to fight. Justin Bieber calls out Tom Cruise. And I don't know if he was lit or thought like nobody would notice, or maybe it was just cause this big old store. But automatically, Conor McGregor says he wants to promote it. He wants to do McGregor Promotions, wants to promote this fight. And everybody just went crazy with it. You didn't think much of it?
No. What's going on? I don't even watch their movies, listen to their music. I don't want to watch a fight.
Yeah, but I mean, you did during MTV era. You did like Celebrity Deathmatch. Remember when they did the little claymations and all?
Funny though.
Yeah, but I mean, you wouldn't pay to see Justin Bieber fight Tom Cruise. He's the last samurai.
Dude, there's so many UFCs I don't even pay to see.
Oh, I understand that, but I mean, they're not freak shows. This would be a freak show.
A free show? There you gotta have it.
It has to be a free show. Put a bunch of commercials around it.
It's crazy, the whole Logan Paul thing, and these guys are just people off the street.
Yeah, but they're famous people off the street.
Famous for something else.
Yes.
I don't want to see Garth Brooks fight.
Why not? I'm down to watch anybody get beat up. And sometimes I'll pay for it.
Well, just go to the bar, man.
Yeah, that's basically it. I don't even go in the bar. You're hanging out in the parking lot and watch the fights go down there.
That actually happens. You see people get tossed out and then get in another fight before they get in the car.
Yeah, and we usually bet on them. So, I mean, in a way, I pay for the fight, but not to the people. It's mostly just bets on the side. Also this week, Scott Coker was talking to people, and he said whenever Cyborg takes her last fight and she's done with her UFC contract, go ahead and give him a call. You think that's something that would pan out for Cyborg?
Well, yeah. I mean, it did for most of her career. And,
yeah, you think so?
And then she went over to the UFC. They tried to kill her by making her drop to 140. And then, she won a few fights at 145 with the big, deep division they built for her. So, yeah, I think.
How many? What do we got? 4 people in the 145 class?
Yeah, I believe so.
Maybe 5. I know it's not it might not even, I don't know. I don't even think we have 4.
It's good.
Because 2 of the fighters are 135ers that come up to 145, right?
But I mean, how could you just be talking to people like that, negotiating with them when they're under contract? Isn't that kind of illegal?
Well, not when they have one. Well, he's not talking to her. He said, when you get done, give me a call. I don't want to talk to you now. When you're done with your contract.
I think he could have just slid in the DM. Public about it like this.
Well, I think he was probably asked about it. Saying she has one fight left. And he was like, yeah, I'm up for it. I bet he didn't even really say, he just said, well, tell her when she gets done with that one fight, hit me up, see what we can do. Oh, and then the other big thing, he'd say Cejudo wants to go for 3 times. We're going to talk about his fight at UFC 238, but now he's talking about maybe he's going to come after the 145 belt.
No, he only got the 135 chance because he allowed TJ to fight at 125. So, okay, now you get to fight at 135. He doesn't get a pass this time. He's got to defend before he can go get another one.
Which one do you think he has to defend first?
The bantamweight, because the flyweight is definitely staying, but there's nothing.
There's not enough people in there. You think
I think there's 5 people, man.
So what do you think? You let those 5 people fight around for number 1 contendership?
Well, they're gonna fight each other, and those people who lose are gone.
Oh,
loser leaves town. Well, that's what it seems like. I mean, they've been cutting a lot of flyweight, so who knows? Dana finally said that it's gonna stay. Last week? But
you think it just because you think Cejudo has kept this division alive just through his winning? Do you think, or you kind of are in the belief that it's gone no matter what?
Yeah, but I just don't know why. They're taking away a division, but they haven't added one yet, so it's kind of strange.
And he keeps saying that there's no way the 165 is coming, even though once he says that kind of means that we're going to see the 165.
Super heavyweight, man.
We're
going to get all those failed NFL athletes, and we're going to run them through this combine.
We already have failed NFL athletes. I wouldn't say failed, but we have NFL athletes that are fighting. Not as much for the UFC, but PFL, quite a few others. Yeah, no? Speaking of Henry Cejudo and the UFC 238, I don't know. You want to read through those names real quick?
I don't know, man.
Just start from here. So who do we have going on this?
Are you talking about featherweight?
Start from the featherweights up.
Calvin Kattar defeated Ricardo Lamas, KO. Alexa Gross defeated Koala KK by decision. Aljamain Sterling beat Muhoz. I can't see this crap right now. And then Tatiana Suarez defeated Anzarov. You get the next ones, but I can't see.
I get the next set. There's a glare. There's something going on. And then on to your main card, we have Blagov. Ivanov defeats Teo Tavusa. Peter Yan defeats Jimmy Rivera. Tony Ferguson defeats Donald Cerrone by nose blow.
Yeah. I mean, you should have saw it coming.
I mean, everybody knows you don't when you got, but he's saying he didn't have a cracked orbital. He didn't have a cracked bone. So I really don't know why the nose blow was such a big thing, but I guess while your eyes puffed up, just don't blow your nose.
Yeah, right.
That's the biggest thing. He even said it.
Pressure, yeah.
Yeah. Valentino Shevchenko killed somebody. Jessica I's death by kick. It's kind of horrific, especially once the seizures and everything. That was.
You want to know a secret, man?
What?
I didn't like when boxing was big back in the day before UFC was real big.
Right.
I didn't like the lighter weight boxing because I didn't see knockouts.
Right.
And in women's boxing, no way. There's hardly any knockouts. But I like the lighter weight MMA fights and the women's fights because there's knockouts. There's submissions. There's a finish. It's not a decision.
Yeah. What's the sad thing about this was multiple people in the bar that we were watching this fight go down, they said that she was setting that kick up. With the abdomen kick, and then she didn't even bring her hands up before she died.
Yeah, she just kind of leaned into it, huh?
Yeah, and then it was lights out. And I feel bad for Jessica. I feel that Dana set this fight up just for this to happen. All the, I don't say shit talking that she did with all the contract problems and the fact that she never got to fight Paige Van Zandt the way that she wanted to.
I mean, if you get a title shot, you can't really feel bad for somebody.
No, I mean, when they're not ready, you know what I mean? It's like trial by fire, I guess.
Well, then when you're ready, then you have experience.
No, right. Careful what you ask for, I guess.
I mean, on the flip side, if you're a rising star, you haven't lost, and then you get humiliated in front of everybody, then, but you're just 1 or 2 fights away from getting right back up there.
Yeah.
Like Darren Till.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you think Jessica Ai is going to make it back quickly? Or is she just going to fall back amongst the ranks of being a gatekeeper?
As soon as she wakes up, she's going to be all right.
She's already up and awake. She says she's doing all right. Recovery from it's been pretty good.
It's always scary, man. That happened to us one time, right?
Oh, yeah.
The dude was out for, what, a minute, 2 minutes?
Yeah. And when they're out that long, it seems forever.
Yeah.
I mean, but luckily we had a drunk nurse who was ready to do whatever she had to do.
Yeah, apparently if someone's knocked out, give them mouth to mouth.
Yeah.
That does help.
Yeah. Or I don't know what she wanted to do, sit on his face or something. I don't know. We wouldn't open the door for her. She was pretty pissed.
This is all true.
It really happened.
Anything up this whole podcast.
If you go look up the fights on what fight is it?
You have to watch them all.
You have to watch all the fights on MMA Pixels on YouTube. You can hear her in the background pleading with us to open the gate because a drunk nurse needs to get in there.
Yeah, I think it was either 7 or 8, but it was Brian Franklin Jr. versus Carl Mitchell.
Yeah. It was pretty ruthless. And then finally we had Henry Cejudo defeat Mariam Marias, TKO punches in the 3rd round. Man, Mariam didn't have a chance at all.
I think adrenaline's a hell of a drug. Like, you can't even walk like moments after the fight. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially since Henry's trainer ends up posting those pictures of how bad the ankle was. I mean, and obviously it was all hidden by his taped up ankles, which he usually does anyway, right?
Yeah.
So what my thing is, how did he get medically cleared? Did he get medically cleared with his ankles taped?
His doctors are hired by the UFC, you know what I mean? Or no, the commission, right? Who's paid by the
But I mean, like we've talked to a guy who he had a shoulder injury, right? And this is camo and this was going down, and they knew that he had a shoulder injury. And in front of his opponent, they were like poking and prodding at the shoulder, right, to get him to wince, to move. And they didn't let him fight, or they did let him fight.
No, they let him fight, and then they called the fight early because of it.
Because
the referee knew of the pre-existing injury.
Right, and there was no marks. There was no marks or bruises. And I mean, Cejudo.
But in camo, that's amateur. They look to not to have you fight if there's a reason.
Right.
But I think, in the pros, they kind of lean the other way, especially at that level.
Yeah. Well, especially fight week for that fight.
Yeah.
But I mean, that bruise was huge. Do you think, well, I still don't know if that picture was right after the fight, because if he already had bad bruising and he kept walking on it, it would make the blood clot or whatever in the leg look worse.
I seen him, he used the crutches for the post fight.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But anyway, that was your UFC 238. And like we said, Cejudo's now going to be stalking people in the 145 division. I don't know. What do we got next?
He would not have to cut anyway, right? At 145?
He could probably walk around at his walk around weight and just walk into the ring. Just think of that though. Think how healthy you are. You never have to get dehydrated.
I don't even think he has a shot at 145.
Why not?
He's too small.
He has a wrestler's chance. Is that a thing? I know that everybody says puncher's chance. Can you have a wrestler's chance?
Not against somebody who's twice as big as you.
Well, true. I mean, so a 145er comes in dehydrated, makes 145, and now you walk around at 145 and you're fighting a guy at 160?
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah, but I mean...
When your style is to...
How much more did TJ weigh than him when he fought TJ, you think?
I don't even know what happened to TJ.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. EPOs are like lead, right? So maybe he was 200 pounds.
It led to him getting knocked out. Man.
I see you working on those one-liners for the weekend.
Yeah, man. You guys stay tuned. Tomorrow night is going to be lit.
It's going to be lit with the one-liners. It's crazy with the one-liners. All right. We also had Invicta FC 35 go down. What was the date on that?
Friday.
It was Friday of last week.
Usually Fridays.
And who did you have in there? All right. You had...
it was all a women's card this time.
It was all a women's card. Jenna Gooden defeats Valerie Wong. Lima Luxbuni against Monique Adran, or defeats Monique Ledram. Kelly D'Angelo defeats Jillian DeCourcy. Chelsea Chandler defeats Brittany Victoria. Caitlin Young defeats Faith McMahon by TKO punches. Lisa Spangler defeats Katrina Katharina Lamar by decision. Kanako Murata defeats Liana Pierosen by submission. Vivian Ferreira defeats Alicia Zappella by decision. And then Karina Rodriguez defeats Deanna Bonnet by decision. That was your Invicta FC 35 card.
I used to watch Invicta a lot more, but I think, once the UFC started picking up everybody, I kind of watch it less and less.
Well, I still watch these fights. I'm not big on their names. I do like to earmark certain fights after we watch them. Again, I don't sit down for a lot of cards to watch them. I go back through, try to get the highlights, and I do miss a lot, but it's the good thing about watching a lot of these feeder leagues is when they do come into the UFC or they do come into Bellator, you kind of know what to expect from them. Or if once they've got to the Bellator level or UFC level and a gym's got a hold of them, what changes they made with them. Because you'll see the different style that these people change to once they're brought up to a bigger card. Sometimes if they change gyms, if they do well. But a lot of them, especially in Invicta, it's 1-2 fights and then they're back in Invicta usually.
Depending on how they do.
Yeah. I don't know. Because like you said, anybody who was something is already here. So even if they bring you up, you weren't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like all the top women now that are fighting, like a lot of them were Invicta. And at the time, that's when I was watching it, But.
PFL 14 was last Thursday, I believe. Is that how it went down?
Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah. And I'm just going to do the main card. We had Rashid Yazapov defeat Mikhail Makhnakardin by decision. We had Ronnie Marcos defeat Sigi Pasali by TKO. Victor Nebkov defeats Rakim Cleveland by decision. Ali Isiev defeats Valdrin Isarev by decision. Dennis Kolchev defeats Jared Rochev by TKO. Satoshi Tashi defeats Zeke Tuni Wheelie by decision. Kelvin Titler. Is it Titler or Tiller? Kevin Tiller defeats Mohamed Darius by submission, and Amelia Sardi defeats Vinny Margulies by TKO. Poor Vinny. So he's out, right? Or can he still come back in the point system?
In the point system. I'm not sure on his exact standings, but I think they have one more fight, or is it?
I don't know. There's just so many people who have got the full 6 points. Is it? Because you get.
You get what, 3 for the finish in the first round? 3 or 4?
You get 3 for a win, and then if it's a finish, you get additional points, right?
Yeah, I don't remember the actual numbers.
Yeah, you think since here we actually have this down at the bottom. Fighter receives 3 points, and the loser receives 0 points. The fight ends in a draw. Both fighters receive 1 point. The bonus for winning a fight in the first, second, or third is 3 points. So yeah, so you can walk away with 6 points if you get it done before going to the judges. 3, 2, 1. So 3 points if you get it done in the first, 2 points if you get it done in the second, and 1 point if you get it done in the third. If it goes to decision, you just get your 3 points from winning. There. And now you know, and no one's half the battle.
They got like 110,000 views on or how many people watched it on ESPN2 last Thursday. There was 18 million for last night's basketball game.
Okay.
That's the biggest game versus, the smaller league.
Right.
That's a huge gap, man. And when people say, oh, yeah, MMA is a stick and ball.
Yeah, but it's also a Thursday night. And like you said, 18 million is for the final. People were paying $1,100 to stand outside the Oracle.
They were both on Thursday.
No, I understand that, but there's a huge difference.
Yeah.
There's nobody in the PFL being paid $42 million a year to play. Unfortunately, not yet.
Just $1 million.
Those days could be coming. Coming up this weekend, we have Bellator 222 coming down. I don't know if you want to go through that. We'll just do the main card. We got Caldwell against Horiguchi. We got Donis against Archuleta. Badejas against Mix. Dylan Danis against Humphrey. Who you taking on that one?
The belt collector, man. Dennis.
Did you see earlier this week when he stole other people's belts and was taking pictures?
Yeah, he took 2. And then who else did that? Oh, Luke Thomas did it on the beat trying to copy him. But,
Oh, did he?
yeah. But
I don't know. I probably have more respect for Luke Thomas than I do Dylan Dennis.
really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I feel like Dennis is a nut hugger.
I don't know. He's a troll.
Yeah.
So once you realize, like, it's kind of like when you know the heel is playing the bad guy.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Well, who's the bigger nut hugger? Lobov or Dennis?
Oh man.
Or you think it's equally?
Dennis
You think
has
one's
more
got a
skill.
right nut and the other one's got a left nut?
Yeah, because I mean, he just dropped all that money to bail him out.
Yeah.
Within an hour, he went to the bank, grabbed $50K. That's probably his life savings, man.
And then I don't know if it's a co-main or chow main event, but we got Machida against Sonnen. Sonnen talking so much trash this week. What'd he say? He goes, if he begs me, I'll let him win.
Yeah, I got the Dragon.
You taking Machida?
Yeah, I think Machida's gonna.
I'd take anybody over Sonnen. He's just not the old Great Mare ain't what he used to be. I mean, his trash talking is off the chart, but I think he's also got a group of writers writing stuff for him now. I don't think he just comes up with the stuff himself.
Have you watched his YouTube videos, like his little talks or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I think I wouldn't say it's not on the fly anymore.
No.
You think it's on the fly? I feel a lot of it. I feel a lot of it's pre-rehearsed. I feel some of it is actually maybe spat at a demographic group, and they're like, "No, can't do that. Nobody like that."
The whole team. That's why. That's what's wrong with the show. We don't got no writers.
No, we don't have no writers. I can barely write myself. I can't even read what I wrote.
I wrote myself a letter once.
Did you?
On accident, I switched the name and the yeah. Came back like 2 days later. No one wrote that for me.
That's pretty good. I'm gonna coin that. I wrote myself a
what,
letter.
to be honest,
Isn't that a song? Write yourself a letter.
Basic training, right? And I was like the first one who got mail because I wrote it to myself. I was all excited. They're like, "Who's it from?" Like, "Oh, my mom."
Oh, and they call it out too. They're like, "Zanella,
Yeah,
you got mail."
I was like, "Oh, everyone, they loved him."
I would have just like kept it to myself.
I did. I
you didn't, and then just read it to everybody. Nick, I miss your huge unit.
Oh, I didn't have to read it like
no.
that. It's from my mom, man.
Oh. It was from you.
Well,
it was to your mom.
I didn't read it. I just repackaged it. I learned my lesson.
Oh, and then the main fight on this card is Rory McDonald against Gracie. Neiman. You taking Neiman Gracie? Well, Rory Mac said he don't want to hurt nobody. I don't even know how he's on a...
They went as far as to get John Finch to weigh in and everything, like, right?
Right.
It's crazy. And for no reason.
Well, we don't know.
Just because everyone else is saying he doesn't want to fight.
Well, don't be mad at Fitch, because if...
No, I'm not mad.
Yeah, because he's getting paid.
He got screwed. I think he won the fight.
Yeah?
I think so. He got his win money and everything.
Really?
Yeah, they paid him.
Why?
Because they felt bad, I'm sure. Because I mean, what was it? A majority win or something? Majority decision.
Yeah, but it's not the
draw.
first. It's
majority draw.
Right, but it's not the first time that this has happened.
Right. But
It's happened in multiple.
Chose Finch though, like.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, there's not much pay difference between these guys in Bellator right now.
There's $1 million, right?
Well,
at the end of
at the end of all this, yeah. But I mean, per fight,
that's such a carrot on a stick, huh? Like, I'm not gonna pay you, but I'll give you $1 million if you fight 5 times for me.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just
one guy.
But I'm into the carrot on the stick, like PFL with their point system. You know?
I like the point system.
If there's any way that you can get more performance out of these guys, or get them to get rid of the timidity,
I think it should maybe be like a bracket. Like if you make it here, you get the 250, 250,000. If you get here, you get 500,000. Kind of break it up a little bit like that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. But I mean, right. But also on PFL, I mean, amongst making that big money, they're also being paid bi-weekly, I believe, if not weekly.
Yeah.
Right. Because like they said, once you've made it in, you become an employee that year. So once you're out, I wonder if once you're out point wise, if they stop paying you. That's interesting. So yeah, so that's your Bellator 222.
World of Boxing. What was those guys' names?
Who? Which one?
Who never paid?
Oh, World Bare Knuckle Boxing Federation, Fighting Federation. Yeah.
We got bare knuckle next week, man.
Yeah. And
Ollie and that's a big fight. I know it's not MMA, but then Brendan Ward pulled out. That was like the third fight.
I don't know if you watched who was it? Was it Shannon Rich or Baroni? Remember, and they were fighting, and he kept trying to do the takedowns.
Yeah, it was Phil Baroni.
It was Baroni. Maybe you can ask him this weekend about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's local, so actually he's gonna be there, tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Great guy. This Phil.
Yeah. Just before that, we have ONE FC has got a fight going on.
Last time they had Rikishi, they just bring out everybody.
They're bringing out their names. ONE FC is going down the 15th, which is tomorrow, which means it's probably happening sometime tonight because
1 a.m. or something.
1 a.m. or something like that. I guess I'll just go through the main card. We got Rodlek. Man, how do you even say that name? We got Rodlick against Liam. That's all I'm going to say there. We got Rainier de Ryder against Gilbert Gavallo. Tarek Kabaz against Anderson Silva. Not the Anderson Silva.
I think that's the dude that Mo fought. Mo the Pirate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got Kiyomo Matsushima against Quan Wan Il. Han Xiao Hao versus Andrew Miller. I like when we have those because you got these long names against Bob Smith. Zhang Chenglong against Tyler Hardcastle. We got Yoshiro Akiyama against Ajilan Thani. And then the Atomweight Muay Thai World Championship is on the line against Stamp Fairtex versus Alma Janiku out of Australia. So that's going to be Thailand versus Australia. Fairtex is the belt holder. So who do you got on that?
Man.
Australia, dude.
They weigh 105. How much do the gloves weigh?
But still, they weigh in at 105. I bet you these girls are coming in at 130. They're fighting at 130, you think?
So?
I don't know. I bet you the Australian is. I bet it's the hardest to cut weight for the Australian. No?
Yeah, because I guess they don't have bathtubs and all that. And it's hard to find food. I heard that. True story.
Australia don't have bathtubs?
No, and aren't they fighting in freaking Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah. They have them maybe in Australia. I don't know. Dodge knows that, but
they're fighting in Shanghai, actually.
Oh shit.
So that's your ONE FC championship card going down tomorrow or 1 a.m. our time. We never know. That's time travel. We don't really get into it, but happening here tomorrow, starting doors open at 5 p.m. at Modesto Century Plaza. We have Beatdown 209 going down.
Doors open at 4. Fights start at 5.
Okay.
But
I'm not a credible source.
To be honest, MMA is usually about an hour behind on the regional scene.
Well, I mean, we always know. I mean, how many of these fights do you see actually going down? How many do we have scheduled this time?
We have 11, and with the exception of one, I think everyone's going to show up. One person has not shown up in the past, but
is it the typical no-show guy?
I'm not sure.
Okay, because we all know. Yeah, we all know the no-show guy, and he shows up on the roster, and I'm always pissed because I'm like, why do we even trust him this time?
Yeah, all those guys usually drop out by now.
Right.
But there's 11 fights listed, 3 title fights. All the title fights are good, but Pedro Juarez versus Jordan Pope, that's the last stand versus Nate Diaz Academy. That's going to be a real good one. I think they're listed the 4th fight of the card, but that's going to be a really good fight. And then the main event, Robert Graham versus Diego Zeria for the welterweight title. He won it last time against Carl Mitchell. We were talking about that big knockout where he killed somebody. That he won it from that guy. And I mean, he's undefeated 4-0 out of Dynamic. I talked to all those guys out of Dynamic. Those guys are doing really good, man.
Yeah, they're starting to feed on what's going on. And I think they're helping each other out. I think the 209 Beatdown is helping give these local fight camps a platform to get the fighters out. It's a hand-in-hand kind of thing. I'm interested in, so what's the new class they've made for, what is it? Is it 35 and up or?
I'm not sure.
The age. Because
oh yeah, like the well, I think if you're 40 years older, you have to be within 10 years.
okay, so that's the thing now.
Yeah.
40 and above.
And we have a 50-year-old fighting a 40-year-old.
Okay.
And then we had the issues before with the older guys. That's a dumb rule. While we're on it, I don't know if I broke this down or whatever.
Break it down.
But you have to be within 10 years because it's for the fighter's safety. But there's not very many people who are looking to start their MMA career at like 40, 45.
Right.
So the talent pool to find somebody that age, then they have to be that weight to fight at.
Right.
Is very hard to come by. So usually what happens is guys take fights and they're like, they're weigh 185 and they're fighting at heavyweight just to get a fight.
But I mean, very seldom do we actually get anybody that has no fight experience and tries to fight at this age. I mean, like even this guy's coming in, he was a Marine boxer, boxed in the Marines.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's hard to say because people say, oh, well, I got in a lot of fights in the street, and they may have, they might, but I don't know. That's usually the comment I get from a lot of people.
Is that I fought in the street?
Yeah.
Oh, see, the comment I get is I could never do MMA because I'm a street fighter. There's too many rules.
Yeah, too many rules.
Yeah, I love that one. It's like, get real. I mean, I don't know what you do on the street that you couldn't do in MMA.
See,
I mean, just short of kicking somebody in the nuts or gouging them in the eye. But I mean, if that's how you fight in the street, I'm surprised that you can walk.
Right, yeah. I mean, I just say I don't want to show off my third nipple. That's my excuse. I would, but
So I'm telling you, rash guards, bro. Get you a rash guard.
They won't let me fight.
I like a real tight rash guard. Makes my titties look smaller.
It'll just accentuate it.
Yeah?
I'll have 3, like Total Recall.
Yeah?
No.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Get yourself a padded rash guard.
They may put breast protector.
So anyway, this is Nick Zanella for MMA Pixels. If you want to see the interviews for the 209 Beatdown that is happening tomorrow, check this link right here on YouTube. You're not going to see it on Facebook because we just don't do cool graphics on Facebook. But if you are watching us on YouTube, go check them out. Nick Zanella, MMA Pixels. So that's our show for the week. Again, Hopefully Brandon will have that mouth herpes cleared up. I told him not to do shoeys with people.
He's got to stop talking shit.
Yeah. It's all right. I hit him with some tough acting, tenactin a couple times. It kind of, I don't know. He just needs to grow the beard bigger and maybe cover. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Can't beat it, hide it.
Yeah. Lipstick on a pig, I guess, is what you would do. But anyway, so always from SinCal Industries here in Modesto, California. If you need yourself, need to get a hole put in your body or some ink put on your body, come down to SinCal. They also do t-shirts and vinyl graphics. If you do credit card business on the interweb or in your business at all, go to Depsol. That's dependable-solutions.net. They have a Depsol challenge going on right now. If you call them and let them run through your business and they can't save you money, they'll give you $150.
What? I'm going to call them.
You don't do credit card business, do you?
I don't do any business, man.
But anyway, it's called the Depsol Challenge. I'm not a credible source, but that is what's going on their website. That's Dependable Solutions, dependable-solutions.net. Check them out on the interweb. If you want a very sought after bottle opener, it's called the Man Card. You can find it on the, I believe, Anheuser-Busch page. Budweiser beers, they sell them. It's a Walkie Craft. Pretty much anything stainless steel that's cool that you see, it comes to Walkie Craft. That's not true, but stuff like that. Bottle openers. Check out Walkie Craft.
The detail on the chain link fence there.
Yeah. And as always, thanks for watching. And Nick will see you tomorrow at 209 Beatdown Fights.
That's the Century Plaza.
At 4 o'clock. Fights will start probably closer to 6.
Bye. Say hi.